What is going on YouTube? Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back for some more Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. This is episode number 28, and finally we're back with this series. Haven't recorded it in forever, and now that things are getting back into the swing of things on the channel, this is coming back as a mainstay. We don't have that much longer to go before the series will be over. Only one more temple. That is the Stone Tower Temple. As in the last episode, we defeated Georg in the Great Bay Temple, which I had to go back and watch again to remember what exactly was going on. But yeah, so in this episode and the next couple of episodes, we're going to be doing all the in-between stuff between Great Bay and Ikana Canyon, which will eventually be our next destination. We have some collection and heart pieces and masks and things that we can get in the meantime, so that's what we're going to be doing. Now, as we're getting started today, just a friendly reminder, if you guys are happy about this series returning, feel free to show your support by clicking that like button or going down into the comment section below. You can leave any suggestions or concerns down there. I'm going to try to make this a regular thing a couple times a week until we finish the game. I don't want it pushed in the background too much, especially because we're leading up to the release of the remake of Majora's Mask on the 3DS, coming up pretty darn soon. So anyway, that's enough about all that stuff. We're starting off this episode by talking to Lulu and the Indiegogo band. The Indiegogos is the correct name. Mikau, who is our Zora persona that we're kind of taking over here. He was part of the band before he died, but now that Lulu has her voice back, because we defeated Georg in the temple and all that jazz, they can now officially perform again as a group, because they weren't able to do so before. And Mikau being dead is kind of a problem too, so we're standing in as his stunt double here, and apparently we also know how to play the guitar very well. So, yeah, we're sitting in on this rehearsal. It's a jazzy little way to get back into things. If this doesn't make you feel Zelda-ish, I don't know what will. Alright, that's a lie, but it's still cool because it's jazzy. Who doesn't like jazziness? Alright, so we don't get anything out of that. You can talk to all these people again, and she just says, I guess being able to sing is a wonderful thing after all, which I guess it is. I'm not going to argue with you, considering you lost your voice and, you know, lost your Zora eggs and everything, so alright, that's enough of that. Let's get on to some things that we can do, because there are quite a few things, and I'm actually probably going to forget at least one of them and have to do one of these events over again. Now, we can do the events of the Don Garro's Mask, because we did defeat a gecko in the Great Bay Temple, which is one of those frog-like creatures. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch the last, I think it was 2 episodes ago. Trying to remember. It's a long time ago in real time. So we're going to be doing that, and so we'll have to go defeat another gecko, which means we have to go back to the Southern Swamp Temple. Woodfall Temple, I guess, is the actual name of it. So we have to go back to the first temple of the game and re-defeat a mini-boss there. We're going to have to go back to Snowhead Temple and defeat Goat, which was the main boss there, to make it springtime in the mountains. And do some frog searching throughout the rest of Termina. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's coming up later on in this episode. But first, we want to get our prize for collecting all of those gosh darn stray fairies in the Great Bay Temple, which we went to great lengths to make sure we did. Because the reward is actually pretty darn good this time. Oops, I forgot I still had the blast mask on, and I just blew myself up just to kill that Dooku Baba. Or Mini Baba, actually, which is going to come back by the time we leave this place. Just for Dooku Nuts. Sold my soul for Dooku Nuts. So apparently there's just bomb chews in that chest. Probably not even going to use those. I'll just go back in time eventually without ever using them. Now, I forget. You do actually use them in this game. I just don't remember where. Honestly, there's not that many places in the game that you can actually use them. So, alright, we're off to the Great Fairies Fountain, which we haven't been to this one yet, but it's over this way, trust me. So I see Dooku Nuts on this tree. I also hear bad guy music, which means there's a Gwai over there, or Gwei, or however you want to say it. These things are really annoying. They're all over the place in Ikana Canyon, too. So, yeah, It's a lot of fun. There's more Duca Nuts here. We could just roll into this tree, see if anything falls down. Oh look, more Duca Nuts, which I probably won't use. Okay, we'll hook shot over to the next tree, and we're almost there. I guess we can roll into this tree too, and see what happens. Nothing. The screen is getting smaller because it is about to be, what is it? It was night before, so it's about to be daytime, I guess. Or is that a sun? So it was daytime? I don't even know. I wasn't even paying attention to what it was doing outside, honestly. It really wasn't. I feel like it's about to be morning of the second day. But I also have time slowed down. I played the song of inverted time, so time is moving like at a third of the speed that it would normally. I don't feel like undoing that just to redo it again in a few seconds, so kind of want to just wait until the timer reaches 6 a.m. and it changes over. And it's so close. But this is one annoying part of the game. If you have the song of inverted time on, it will take forever, and the screen will just keep getting smaller and smaller. There we go, finally, dawn of the second day. 48 hours remain until we all die in a fiery ball of angry moonness. Moving on, here we are in the Great Fairy Shrine Temple thingamajiggy. I'm not sure, is it called a shrine or a temple? It's not a temple. Temples are places with bosses. I guess it's a shrine. Oh, courageous young one, I am the Great Fairy of Courage. Thank you for returning my broken and shattered body to normal. This is normal for you, lady? Ew. Alright, so she's going to lend us some of her strength as the other great fairies have done for us. And now look at our hearts. Look at our health. It's all bordered and junk with whiteness. How could you go wrong with that? So what exactly is this upgrade where we have white outline hearts now? Your defense has been enhanced. I kind of just skipped over that. I meant to read that, but I hit the A button too quickly. So our defense is enhanced, which means we take half as much damage as we normally would on any attack. Doesn't matter if it's fire or electricity or falling from, a really high point. Does not matter. We take half damage from everything, which is absolutely fantastic. It is going to help you a lot in the upcoming temple, and it's going to help you a lot at the end of the game too, because the battle against Majora's Mask is quite difficult. So that's looming in what, I don't know, it kind of feels like it's close, but it's really not. We have a lot that we have to get to, even though there's only one temple remaining. Alright, so before we do the whole thing with the frogs and Dongero's mask, which is really just a long side quest, it kind of seems like it's a trading sequence. But regardless, what I'm trying to say is it's a long sequence to go through just for one piece of heart. That's all you get out of it for going to all these locations. In the meantime, or not even the meantime, just before we get to that, there's one more thing that we can do here now that we defeated Georg, and it's really the only thing that changes about Great Bay. Having defeated Georg, you probably won't ever defeat him again because there's not really anything that changes as far as what you can do and, what items you can obtain. Nothing really changes in the area except this game against the fisherman guy who had the seahorse a couple of episodes ago. His house is by where the Skulltula house is on the beach. Now we can play a mini game and get a piece of heart from him, but you do have to have defeated the temple first. So this is really the only thing. So just make sure you don't go back in time before doing this. So we can jump on this boat here, and this is going to take us over to these little pillars that I was just swimming around at, trying to figure out how to get up there. When the automatic boat will take us over there. It won't actually take you to where you can jump onto any of the platforms. You're going to have to hookshot onto the tree by where the fisherman is. So it's a little bit tricky because you're moving, but as soon as the red dot appears, you can just fire it off and you should make it there okay, and we can talk to the fisherman. Oh, sorry, evenings and the first thing in the morning, or my break times come back late. Oh, we have to come back later. Okay, well, I'm going to cut out to when we can actually play this minigames. I'll be right back. Alright, we are back, and it is the morning of the final day. Or I guess the afternoon time, because it's 12 p.m. Now that the seas are back to normal, I've started a little business aimed at tourists. If you pay 20 rupees, I'll invite you to a jumping game that has a really big prize. Big prize in bold. If you're up for it, go to that island in the center. Okay, it would be nice if I could see the island in the center. There we go. So we have all these torches and then a center platform. How is this going to work? Now then, I'll explain the rules, so listen carefully. I'm going to light the torches on each of the surrounding 4 islands in a particular order. Jump to the island that has the lit torch. If you can jump to it before the torch goes out, you'll get 1 point. If you get 20 or more points within the time limit, you'll get a big prize, but it'll cost you 20 rupees for 1 try. How about it? Will you give it a try? Sure, I did make sure to go get rupees while I was waiting, in case we lose a couple of times. Basically, you need to be able to just jump across to where the lit torch is, and it's hard because of the camera angle. I recommend not using the bunny hood for this because you can move too fast, and it's hard to jump around angles like this with the bunny hood on, because you cannot jump into the water. If you hit the water, you lose automatically. So it's much better to just take it slow, and you have plenty of time to get your 20 points too. Even if you were taking it slow, you can easily get to 25. In fact, as long as I don't fall in here, I'll be able to get to 20 with at least 20 seconds remaining. Can pretty much guarantee that, if not more than 20 seconds remaining. And at that point, I just kind of stand there. I mean, you could try to go for a high score. You only need to get 20 in order to be able to get the piece of heart that we're going to get as a reward here. So, I wouldn't push it. Alright, 16. I'm surprised I'm doing so well. Normally, I lose the first try, like within the first couple platforms, but I'm actually doing okay this time. Looks like we're actually going to do it. Hopefully, I didn't just jinx myself. We have 1 more. And a lot of time left. 35 seconds remaining. We already have 20. So we could easily get 30 if we really wanted to. But, well, maybe not 30, but at least 25, that's for sure. And now we can just kill some time. It doesn't matter what we do from this point onward. Really, the key to this is taking it slow. Like I said, using your L/Z targeting to change the camera angle. And when you start to run to the center platform, you should be able to see where the next torch is, and then you can plan accordingly. If you have to go a little bit slower and you miss a torch, it's not the end of the world, because I just stood there for literally 20 seconds and still got 25. So it's not that difficult at all. The toughest thing is actually just staying on the platforms, not the time limit. But either way, we have gotten ourselves another piece of heart. So yeah. Now it looks like I may go bankrupt. Why? Just because one little kid beat your minigame? Is that the only thing that you're worried about? The seas are returning to normal. You should be able to fish and sell at the market and all that stuff. Oh well. Alright, so now it's time to get on with our Don Garrow's quest. So we defeated the Gecko as a mini-boss in the Great Bay Temple. He's also a mini-boss in the Woodfall Temple, which is the first temple of the game. But there's 2 other locations where you can find frogs. So we're going to do that first, and then finally go back to Woodfall Temple and do that. First of which is in Southern Clocktown's laundry pool. He's just chilling there. You probably saw him at the beginning of the game if you were just exploring and wondering why in the world there was a frog there all the time. Could it be you came all this way looking for me? Ah, you need not say a thing upon seeing that face. I understand. Is it true? But I had heard that it was still winter in the mountains. It is. When spring comes, I shall definitely go to the mountains, so let us meet again. So you don't have to have defeated Goat before talking to the frogs. You can do that afterwards, and they'll still go to where they're supposed to go in the mountains. Just eventually you have to defeat Goat. As for the Don Garrow's mask, if you don't have it at this point, you need to get it in, I believe, the Snowfall region. There is a Goron near the first warp point, owl statue thingamajiggy, who is hungry and needs food. You can get a piece of rock in Goron City, which you can feed to him, and then he'll give you the Don Garrow's mask in return. So that is that. We did that quite a long time ago. So if you've been watching the whole series, you would have seen me do that already. Okay, the next frog is going to be in Southern Swamp. Not in the Woodfall Temple, but just chilling in the Southern Swamp. You can put on the Zora mask, and you can walk through all of this poisonous water, and it's really not that big of a deal. Actually, I don't think this water at this point is poisonous. Either way, you can just walk along, not to worry about the lily pads. And here is the frog, just chilling on a log here. All the frogs say the same thing, so I'm just going to skip over the text. So now we have 3 out of the 4 frogs that we need. I'll get my Dooku mask out because that's what we're going to need to open up the Woodfall Temple, because it is closed. We're going to have to play the Sonata of Awakening, which hopefully I remember how to play. Alright, let's warp to Woodfall. So yeah, it doesn't take that long. It's a lot of going out of your way. I mean, you have to have defeated 2 mini-bosses in 2 different temples, and then the main boss in a 3rd temple. It's just kind of crazy. You have to go through all of that just for 1 piece of heart. So this, if you're not going 100%, oh my gosh, I need to focus on this. There we go. Okay, got it. It's like, I know this song. Darn Sonata of Awakening. That'll open up the temple for us. What was I saying? Oh yes, if you're not doing a 100%, run through of this game, you're not trying to get every heart piece, this might be one that you want to forego, just because of how much you have to go through just to get it. And like I said, it's only 1 heart piece. There are other things of similar length, or just a little bit longer, where you can get quadruple the heart pieces, and you'll see one of those trading sequences coming up not that long from now. Once we get the next warp point, we can do that little sequence. So that's coming up. A lot of heart pieces still to get in this game. So let's see if I remember how to get to the mini-boss room. You can't warp to it. You could go defeat Odawa again, which was the main boss of the temple, but that doesn't really do anything for you. We need to find the gecko. So I know at least that we have to go through this door here, because that's the only door in this room. I want to say that it's to the east here. I want to say it's to the east, and then it's the top room. If I'm remembering how this temple is laid out correctly, we may have to do a little bit of exploring here, but I have a vague idea of where it is. Okay, there should be a switch to our left here, an eye switch, I think, that allows this platform to go up and down. We're gonna need our bow for that, since that was the item that we got in the temple. There we go. Okay, pretty sure it's this door right here that's gonna be on top of this platform, which would be great because we didn't really do that much exploring at all. Barely got familiar with the place. Okay, let's dive into our flower, and we dove in too late, unfortunately. And now that we have the gilded sword, this gecko is going to be so ridiculously easy. We can probably move on from phase 1 of the battle in 1 slice. And after that point, you just shoot him with arrows as he crawls along the wall. There he is. Doesn't he look just as angry as ever? Yep, it only took 1 slice. Okay. So moving on to phase 2, he calls a, what are these called? Claptrap or something? Forget what they're called. Anyway, so we're gonna need arrows. I'm gonna break out the fire arrows since they do more damage. They do double the damage, I believe, that a regular arrow does. And we'll pull out the blast mask because we need something to blow up on this thing. Okay, apparently that didn't work. Do I have to not be targeted? Blow him up. And that didn't work either, so maybe the blast mask doesn't work, or that was just really bad timing on my part. Anyway, the easier way to do this is, I mean, you can use bombs, but the easier way to do this is to just use the Dooku flowers. And when he goes over top of you, you can flip it over like that and pull off the mask. When he stops moving on the ceiling, shoot him with a fire arrow, down he goes, and we're going to repeat the process. We may only have to do it twice, just because fire arrows are a lot more powerful than regular arrows. We'll see if this kills him. And it does! So 3 total hits, 1 with the sword and then 2 fire arrows, and that does it for Mr. Gecko. And there's the last frog that we are looking for. So that'll open up that door to the boss key as well if we really wanted to complete this whole temple all over again, which I'm not really feeling it at this point, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to talk to Mr. Frog here. And he says, when spring comes to the mountains, he will go and be there waiting for us. So instead of going through all that again, I'm going to play the Song of Soaring, which will soar us to the entrance of the temple. Saves us a little bit of time of traversing all of that poisonous water, because we don't like poisonous water. It's not our friends. Then we can leave the temple, and back outside in Woodfall, we can again play the Song of Soaring, and now we're going to go to Snowhead. Now it's finally time to defeat Goat yet again, and we're probably going to have to defeat him one more time after this, because I'm sure I'll forget something. He's just the most common boss to defeat, because spring coming to the mountains is important. So I'm going to speed this up so you guys can watch it. You guys have seen me defeat Goat, I don't know how many times. Twice, maybe? I forget how many times I've showed it on screen. Oh yeah, we have to play a song, too. The Goron's Lullaby. Hopefully I get that correct. A over left, A over left, over A. Okay, I will play that. That's going to make the blizzard stop so we can get into the temple. Actually did get it right on the first try. Not bad. After one look at that, kind of impressed, because normally it takes me forever to get those correct. Anywho, I'm going to stop talking now, and we will reconvene after we have defeated Goat and spring has returned to the mountains. Alright, so now that we have defeated Goat and spring has returned to the mountains, yet again, we arrive back at the usual spot, and here are all these frogs occupying these lily pads back here. Forgive me if I'm mistaken, but it looks like you've lost a little weight, Don Garo. Of course, you have to have the Don Garo's mask on to activate this conversation, but that should be common sense. As you can see, Don Garo, the long winter has ended. Spring has come. Let us begin our chorus. That's right, frogs have a chorus. The Froggy Chorus is actually making a comeback from the Ocarina of Time. Not necessarily Don Garo. I don't remember if one of the frogs was called Don Garo. But there was a really difficult frog minigame just for a heart piece by, I think it was the Zora's Domain. Anyway, I guess it's just a callback to that. But anyway, we finally got the heart piece, so after all of that, was it worth it? I guess it was. We're gonna play the Song of Soaring, and I feel like it was kind of worth it. I mean, that chorus is pretty darn good. They definitely hit all of the notes. That is for sure. Now we're pretty much done. It is the final day, and we're pretty much set to go back in time. I just want to throw my rupees in the bank because I do have 207 of them, and we get another heart piece once we reach 5,000 in the bank. And I believe we're only at like 2,000 something, so every rupee counts. I think eventually I'm just going to have to go on a rupee hunting spree, probably after we get an item that we don't have yet. I don't want to spoil it, but one upgrade that we get will make it a lot easier to farm rupees. Anyway, we might as well throw in all 207 of them, and now we are ready to go back in time. Next episode, because that's where we're going to call it quits here, we're going to be heading on over to Ikana Canyon, which is the fourth and final region of this game, which is a little bit depressing. But let's go back in time, save our progress, and get ready for next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please make sure you're leaving a like, rating, or a comment, or whatever you would like to do, and I will see you all next time. And until then, game on.